The pageantry of the state opening of Parliament was pared right back. A small convoy of cars brought the Queen to Parliament. Instead of a crown, today a hat, a dress-down ceremony, socially distanced. The Queen sat alone, as she did at Prince Philip's funeral just over 3 weeks ago. The Prime Minister and the Labour leader came to the Lords to listen to the Queen read out a Conservative slogan that brought the party much success in last week's elections.
My government will level up opportunities across all parts of the United Kingdom.
There were 26 bills, but not a keenly awaited one, reforming social care. That is still work in progress.
Proposals on social care reform will be brought forward.
The government said those proposals will come soon. Back in the Commons, Sir Keir Starmer reminded Boris Johnson what he'd promised nearly 2 years ago when he first became Prime Minister.
I am announcing now on the steps of Downing Street that we will fix the crisis in social care once and for all with a clear plan we have prepared.
We have prepared. Yet 657 days on from that promise, what did we hear in this address? Proposals on social care reform will be brought forward. No legislation, no new funding, no details, no timescale. Failure to act for a decade, and it was failure to act for a decade, was bad enough. But failure to act after the pandemic is nothing short of an insult to the whole nation.
The government said this Queen's speech would boost the economy with new rules on state subsidies, relaxation of planning laws. But the government also found time for constitutional measures, trimming the court's powers to challenge Parliament, requiring photo ID to vote. And in the Commons, the Prime Minister made time to mock Keir Starmer's botched reshuffle in his attempt to appease his own angered Deputy Leader Angela Rayner with new job titles.
The Deputy Leader, the Shadow's First Secretary of State, the Shadow Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster, and Shadow Secretary of State for the future of work. Though the more titles he feeds her, Mr. Speaker, the hungrier I fear she is likely to become.
Moments earlier, Keir Starmer's closest parliamentary aide resigned after allegations she'd spread rumours about Angela Rayner's private life.
Got gold on there.
The COVID-compliant state opening is over. And soon, the government hopes, COVID's domination of our national life might be over too. Well, are we really much wiser about what levelling up means at the end of all of this? Well, the government would say a bit wiser because they've told us about things like loans for lifelong learning. But when you look at the proposals that are out there, they can look a lot like what a lot of governments have been trying to do for a long time, rebranded. The government would say, well, we have had a huge chunk of the British state utterly absorbed by COVID, but they do acknowledge in the chunky document that they produced today with the Queen's speech that there's a lot more detail still to come on levelling up. At the moment, it remains really a very successful political slogan in search of distinctive definition, I think it's fair to say. But the other hole, the hole that most people are talking about in this Queen's speech, is the missing policy on social care. It does look as though the Prime Minister is leaning towards some sort of cap on lifetime care costs. It looks very much as though he hasn't got the Treasury to sign on the dotted line yet for any kind of outline proposal.